What is up, everybody? And welcome back to the Matt Peet Marketing Podcast. Today, I've got Reggie Holmes. Now, Reggie is the owner and creative director of Enthuse Creative, a strategic branding and design firm based in Tysons, Virginia. He builds brands that help his clients reach, retain, and reward their customers. Reggie, thank you so much for taking the time to be on my podcast.
Thank you, Matt. It's my pleasure to be here. Really excited to join you today.
Oh, man, I'm so excited. Like I told you right before we jumped in this recording, I was looking through your website and I love your website. It's so clean and professional. It's amazing. It's a breath of fresh air, really.
Thanks. Thank you.
I love it. Anybody who wants to go see it really well. Did you design this or do you pay somebody to do this for you?
I designed it. And funny story. There was a lot of work that went into that over the last year. One of the good things, I guess, about having, some extra time with the pandemic and stuff is more time to sort of work on my business. And one of the key things that I wanted to really work on was a website. So I appreciate your kind words.
Absolutely. I can tell. Like I do website design and website like building. I do it mainly for myself right now, but like it's a really good website, a really clean website. I love it. Awesome.
Thanks.
So anybody out there wants to check out Reggie's website, go over to enthusecreative.com. You've got to check it out, especially after what I just said. How can you not, right? All right, Reggie. So what's your marketing passion?
So my marketing passion is really working with business owners to help them build their brands. And branding is a facet of marketing, but I've really sort of landed there and camp out there. And what I love to do is help business owners really have ownership of their brand. A lot of times people have a business and they know their product and service, but they never really have ownership of their brand in the sense that they know who they are and they show up and present that to the market every day, consistently, strongly. So I really love being able to give that type of ownership to the business owners. So, they could just be confident in who they are, in how they look, and what they have to say to their audience. So I would say that's my marketing passion.
What is like bare bones, like first thing you do when you go into a company and they're like, hey, we want to hire you to help us with our brand. What does that process look like for you to help them figure out and create their brand?
Sure. So one of the first things that I really try to nail down and sort of put on a table is why. So there's two questions. One is why, and the second is why you. So why are you actually doing what you're doing in terms of whatever your product, service, or business is? So that kind of gets to the idea of your brand purpose, and that will inform everything that comes out visually, everything that comes out verbally. It's all derived from why you feel like you need to be doing what you're doing. And then the second question is why you? So now that we know, what your motivation is, what your inspiration is for being in the market in the first place, why should somebody that you want to help work with you to get the help that they need? And so that's like what makes you different. What are those things that are part of your unique value that you can bring to the table? And why should anybody care about that? When you can know your why and know why you, I think that really helps you to be set apart from competitors and really gives you something that is attractive to people that are looking to get their problem solved. So that puts you in a better position to be able to say, here I am, I have the solution to your problem. Let's work together. So
I wrote down your questions, so I'm going to be using those. How do you develop, like why you? Why do you feel like you need to be doing what you're doing? Why should someone you want to work with work with you? What makes you different? And why should anybody care about that? Like, I love this. I was literally writing those down because I was like, this is like just walking me through the steps of, of that brand session. That's awesome. All right, Reggie. For anybody out there who's watching, listening, they know what's coming next. It's the pod next question. I'm actually like loosely sponsored. It's like an affiliate link, but really what it does, it gives people 10% off if anybody wants to do these. They're great for calls. If
Nice.
you use code the Matt Peet, all one word, you get 10% off. And it's like, hey, free money for something awesome. Anyways, I like using them to get to know you a little bit better. So Reggie, what's your favorite gadget?
My favorite gadget. That's a great question. What's my favorite gadget? Can I say my phone? I feel like that's not a great answer, but uh,
I feel like that it's the safe answer because I feel like everybody understands why that's the answer. I mean,
right.
I'm not saying it's wrong. I would say the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's the answer. That's what I use the most for things that I didn't think that I would use it for. So, um, and I feel lost without it. So I'm gonna go with my smartphone.
Nice. And as business owners, like people don't realize how we use our phones differently. Like when I'm thinking Instagram and TikTok, I'm not thinking like, hey, let's waste time. I'm thinking like, what can I create for my business or for my clients' businesses to help them? Like, how can I use this? And then it goes all the way down to like, I have an app that scans receipts. So when I do my taxes at the
Yeah,
end of every year, I've got everything right there.
there you
So
go.
yeah, I totally, as another business owner, completely understand why that cell phone is your favorite gadget because it's mine
Yeah.
too. All right, Reggie, what's something you see people doing in their marketing that makes you cringe?
So I will say that one thing that makes me cringe is when people put too much of themselves in the marketing. And I think what I mean is that you're trying to reach an audience, and so you have to write and position and create visuals that are for your audience. And too often people just talk about themselves, and I think that's what we know ourselves best, so it makes sense that we do that. But you're really trying to help your customer, and so just not being customer centric enough, being too self centric, because the reality is, your customer has a lot of options, and they can come to your website and read all about you, or they can read about how you can help them solve their problem. Now if I'm looking for a solution, yes, I want to know about you, but I want to know about you as it relates to how you can help me solve my problem. And so I think that's probably the one thing that I would say that I see, and kind of bothers me a little bit, is that when marketing is all about the business and not enough about the customer.
I love that. And I've seen just recently, I had somebody follow me on Instagram and message me just basically cold spam messaging
Mhm.
and talking about how they were marketing and all this kind of stuff. And their Instagram feed was literally just a bunch of selfies of them
Yeah.
and like no content, like zero content, just like, hey, I'm going to take a selfie a day and post it. And it's like, you're not really marketing anything. So, and like you said, making it more customer centric, putting that customer first, and which
Yeah.
again goes back to that branding we talked about at the beginning.
Yeah.
Awesome. Reggie, if you were to start marketing for a new business today and you only had $1,000 in your budget, how would you spend that to get some new clients?
Yeah, that's great. So I think that assuming that I know who those clients are, I would ask a lot of questions and really understand where those clients are, and then invest in some advertising that will reach the audience on that platform. So, but if I only had $1,000, I would get very specific about who I want to reach with that budget, um, and do some really tailored, specific ads to reach that audience, because you don't have a lot to spend, but what I want is customers who are most likely to become repeat customers and advocates for my business. So and I want to target people that have a wide reach and are very engaged with other people who fit that profile that we've come up with as far as the target customer. So um yeah, And I would also create some great content that can be a lead generator to just get traffic to my website or my landing page, and make it as interesting as possible so people can just learn more and really at the very least be interested when they come and see my stuff, because it's different than anything else that's out there. So
Nice. And you mentioned ads. Do you have like a favorite ad platform that you like to go to?
so I don't run a lot myself. I leave that to experts that do that. But I like to play around with Facebook ads. I'm sort of learning the digital ad game and kind of what works and what doesn't work. I'm interested in getting into YouTube ads as well.
Awesome. So I have, if you ever want to get into it, because I've been hearing a lot about YouTube. Funny you mentioned that,
Mhm.
because I've heard so many great things about it. I didn't really understand why, but like only paying for it if somebody clicks on it. So like I don't have YouTube Premium, so I see a lot of ads. Whenever I hit skip this ad, that person
Mhm.
who paid for the ad does not pay to put that ad in front of me because I hit skip this ad. So you're
Wow.
only paying when somebody clicks on it. Um,
Yeah.
so that's why I've been really intrigued. There is something out there. There's two platforms that I've heard of recently. The reason I ask if you have a favorite one is because one of them, I'm working with one of my clients to run a bunch of
Hmm.
ads and create all their marketing stuff, all their videos. And they were looking at two different platforms. So if everybody out there listening, if you have something you're trying to run ads for, or Reggie, this might be something cool for you to check in too. There's one of them is called Magix, Madgicx, and the other one is called Feather, and Feathr. Feather is more uh, geared towards live events, which is kind of
Hmm.
cool. And Magix is just like all over branding or all over advertising, but it basically connects all your ad accounts and you create all the creative. It does like AI targeting, so it tells you who to reach out to when. Like it it can break down your ads in a way. So if you're running a bunch of picture ads, it can
Hmm.
say, hey, you're getting 60% more reach whenever you use a photo of a girl wearing glasses, because it analyzes the photo and sees what you have in the photo, and then it like
Yeah.
tears it apart and finds any similarities.
Wow.
So it's like, well, maybe there's something there, like, so really cool platforms to look into that I've just now been exposed to, that because we were talking about ads, I was like, I have to mention these because they're super cool. Like,
Yeah.
so what's your favorite marketing tool?
My favorite marketing tool. That's a great question. So I use Mailchimp, and I'll say Mailchimp because they've added a lot of new tools in it, and it's a great place to sort of keep graphics. And I do pretty well with my newsletter that I send out. And um, I really like the analytics there because it gives me great insight into what type of content my clients really like, the people that are on my list. And it makes getting into running different campaigns and automation like pretty easy. Like I know that there are tools out there that are much more advanced, but for someone who is sort of new to email marketing, to automation, landing pages, um, Mailchimp has made it really easy to start dipping your toe in those waters. So I really like that tool.
Nice. And I feel like MailChimp for me would be like Canva was. Have you ever
Hmm.
heard of Canva? I'm sure you have.
Yeah.
So like I used Canva years ago and I was like, it's okay. It's kind of clunky here and there. It doesn't have all the
Yeah.
stuff I need. I picked it back up last year and I was like, this is kind of awesome. Like what it can do now. Like I
Yeah.
feel like the last time I used MailChimp was 2014.
Yeah.
I feel like it's probably way better now. I mean, what, 7 years later? It's
Yeah.
probably really good.
Yeah.
That's
It's
it.
it's it's definitely like moved far beyond just, let me put together a simple little email marketing campaign. You can do a lot with it.
That's really good. I'll have to check back into it because right now I'm using ConvertKit and
Okay.
it's really cool. But the design for me of different software and platforms matters a lot. So
Sure.
like Canva is really, the user experience is just really easy. It's like drag and
Yeah.
drop, it's simple buttons. I feel like that's how MailChimp is. When you jump into these other email marketing campaign platforms, it's not. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of lingo that I have to like, I'll be working on something. I have to like, let me Google this and see how to do this. Let me
Yeah.
see what that term means. Like, I feel like it just makes it so much easier to get started.
Yeah.
Like you said,
Even
yeah.
I mean, for us that do it, that experience is really it's valuable. It's important. So I can imagine for a layperson trying to get involved with one of the tools, if it's not really simple and easy to make it do what you want it to do, they're going to give up quickly and miss out on an opportunity. So I do think that a lot of these platforms have invested in how do we make, because we know our tool works, we know that it can produce the results that we're telling people it can produce, but how do we make it enticing for people to easily onboard and like figure out how to use it? And so I think the ones that have done that are succeeding and are picking up more market share.
Yeah. And that's so true. Cause that user experience, like you said, especially in today's world with everybody getting laid off last year, and everybody's like, well, might as well try out a business online.
Yeah.
Like you said, the layperson getting started with marketing, email marketing, like for me, like one of the issues I had with ConvertKit when I was first setting it up is like, I have a website that I built on WordPress and I use a specific plugin to capture email addresses. ConvertKit allows you to build forms that you can get the code for and put that code on your website. I didn't want to do that because the design ability inside of ConvertKit, in my opinion, is really not there. It's not that it's bad. It's just you don't have design ability inside of ConvertKit. It's a basic form. I wanted the ability to make it look branded and make it match the rest of my website. And I had to figure out that the only way to do that is to create one of those bad looking forms. And then it would just allow me to link it with the integration. It was just a really confusing way. Like it should allow you to create it without designing it. If you want to
Right.
add the design later, cool. Yeah, here's how you do that. But here's what you need to link over. And it made it confusing. It was like I said, if you're not following along as you're listening or watching, like trust me, that's how I felt when I was trying to figure it out. It's like, why can't I not just link this over to my platform like I want to? So for
Yeah.
that reason, Mailchimp probably is the best way to go if you're just getting started out. And I did see somebody the other day, and you probably know about this more so than I do. They said that it's expensive to go from like you have your first 2,000 subscribers are free or something
Hmm.
like that.
Yeah.
They said they were shocked at the sticker price for what it costs to upgrade Mailchimp to get past those free 2,000. Do you know what that price is by any chance?
I was looking at this the other day for a client, and I don't know exactly, but there is quite a big gap between sort of the basic level and then when you want to upgrade.
So I'm on their mailchimp.com/pricing, and free goes, it says up to 2,000 contacts, one audience included. Then essentials is up to 50,000 contacts, three audiences included, and it's only $9.99.
Yeah.
That's
So
not
I'm
bad.
I'm I'm on I think I'm on standard, and obviously I don't have that many contacts, but the goal is to I invested at that level to be able to play around with some of the targeting and the optimization and customization tools. So I think there's for pretty minimal investment, there's a lot to sort of work with there, especially if you're not that advanced with your email marketing and just sort of want to try out all these different things that they offer. So
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like I was expecting it to be like $30 or $40 to get over to the $10. I mean, ConvertKit has a free version and you can get up to like 1,000, but then
yeah,
it's like $30 a month after that. So like that's kind of the jump I was expecting. Um, but $10 is not bad. And like you said, you're on standard, which is $15 a month for up to 100,000 contacts.
right,
Which if you have 100,000 people on your list, you're doing real good.
yeah,
I think I've got like 70 on my list right now.
yeah,
100,000. That's pretty awesome. But yeah, I mean, anybody who's just getting started out there, check out Mailchimp. That's probably where it's at right now because of all of the reasons we've mentioned. Um, a great place to get started, if nothing else. And if you decide later you don't like it, you can always export that your email list and upload it to another platform.
yep,
Um, and most of those platforms will probably help you migrate it anyways because they want your business.
yeah.
So cool. Reggie, if you could go back to when you first started marketing and give yourself one piece of advice, what would it be?
It would be to clarify my audience and really know who I can help and who I can offer input to and maybe be a resource for, but not necessarily work with. I think I spent a lot of time, in the beginning, much like most people, you kind of work with anybody that says they want to work with you, and learn the hard way what makes a good client for you and what who doesn't. So I think I have this expression like the customer is always right, but the customer is not always right for me. And I think if I could go back and do a lot of things over, I would there would be some people that I would definitely say you're not the right customer for me. Um, Not because you're a bad person or anything. It's just I can't really offer you value in the solution that you're looking for. You need something else. And so more clarity on what I actually provide and who actually is a great fit for me to provide that for. I think that would have saved me a lot of time, a lot of effort, and I wouldn't have spent as much time trying to find clients, and would have created a platform, a system where the right type of client would have found me. And that's where you want to be. That's where you want to be spending your time is um, converting people that come to you because they know you have the solution. So as opposed to um, I'm hoping and I'm out there fishing and trying to find people that may or may not be the right fit. So I would have definitely spent more time and energy in refining those things. So I'll just been more successful in sort of working with the kind of people and organizations that I wanted to early on, as opposed to so much trial and error. So
Nice. I love that because I got my start in video. I don't know if you knew that, but like
mhm.
went to school for graphic design, studied video under somebody as an internship, studied photography in graphic design. And just like everybody else who gets into photo or video, it's like, oh, I can add on. I was trying to do videos, like I can add on photography. That's no big deal. It's just changing a different setting on my camera. It's completely different. Like aside from the actual structure of how it works, like the marketing for it does
Mhm.
not work as well because like you said, it helps you define what you can offer and who your target audience is.
Yeah.
Like if I'm pitching out every product, every service under the sun, then I'm not going to find a target audience because there is no target. It's literally just throwing
Right.
spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yeah.
My business really took off when I was like, you know what? I only do wedding videography. I did
Yeah.
that for years. And it was like that when I decided that's all I'm doing, I was, like you said, I was turning clients away. I was like, sorry, I can't help. That's not what I do. I would find
Yeah.
people to refer photo weddings too, because I didn't do that.
Right.
Um, and that's when my business exploded. And, I was able to go full time with my business and not have a 9 to 5 job. It was awesome.
Yeah.
But because, like you said, I niched down and I figured out who my client was.
Yeah. And I'll say this really quickly, like I heard this analogy and it's always stuck with me. If you think about a dartboard, where is the most valuable uh area on the dartboard? Like what counts for the most points?
That dead center.
Yeah, yeah. And so, I think marketing is the same way. Like the most value is not on the outside, but the more you can figure out that, tight circle of who is your ideal customer, the closer you get into that, the more value there is for you and for the people that you work with.
That's a good analogy. I feel like there's like a lead generation thing, like a graphic that you could develop a whole talk about using a dartboard as your thing.
Yeah,
Cause I mean, then it goes back to, okay, you have 4 different services you're offering. That's like throwing 4 darts at a dartboard at once. Whereas if you
right.
have one dart, you can aim it and try to hit that perfect customer every time. But if you
Yeah,
got a whole bunch of things you're just kind of throwing all at once, like the odds of
right.
you hitting that bullseye are way lower.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole TED talk in there. You should develop that.
All right. I'm
that
I'm gonna
that's
I'm
good.
gonna work on
I'm
it.
expecting a book in the next year.
Yeah.
Awesome, Reggie. Well, this has been a great interview, but what's the best place for people to go and see some more of your work and hear some more about you?
Yeah, so they can definitely go to enthusecreative.com. That's ENTHUSE creative all together.com. And I'm also on social media at Enthuse Creative.
Awesome. Everybody go check that out. Give him a follow because he's got some really cool stuff. I was actually just listening to one of your posts right before we jumped on our call here because you have the blog section on there, the digital rules, but print is still relevant. I was actually checking that post out right before we jumped on the call. So definitely head over to his website and check out his content. He's got a lot of really cool stuff there. Do you have a podcast by any chance?
I don't. So I'm in the process of kind of developing that, but I'm a frequent guest on other podcasts, and I like to record little nuggets for people, but I don't have a podcast just yet. It's in development.
Oh, that's because the reason I asked is because on that post it says listen to the post and it has like an audio player.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy needs a podcast. Like he's already recording the audio. It's just a matter of hooking up Libsyn and pressing go.
Yeah.
That's cool though. Yeah, everybody check that out. It's a lot of cool content over there. All right, Reggie, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the podcast today, man. It means a lot.
Yeah, thanks, Matt, for inviting me. I had a great time.
Awesome. Everybody out there listening, watching along, I hope this was as good for you as it was for me. Keep working hard and remember that marketing matters.